This is a JTP audio podcast.
Sometimes talking with friends feels like role-playing. Sometimes it feels like combat. Join us at the round table and roll initiative. This is Curmudgeons and Dragons. All right, back for another Curmudgeons and Dragons. How y'all doing?
Yeah, the same as I was before, because we haven't moved.
No, they don't have to know
That's
how
not true.
that's
I
right.
moved around a little bit.
We did stretch.
we took a little break.
They don't have to know
Talked
that
to Josey's dad.
that it's just been
They don't
one.
have to know that we just recorded 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, that it's only
We
been one.
talked to
it's been
Miguel
one
and
day.
Donna.
Oh,
They told
angels.
everybody about my whole life story.
It was rough. It was tough. It was a tough listen.
So my different episode today is that this was kind of fun. I saw this Reddit post. I want to give credit to user Happy Josiah.
Where do you go, Happy
Reddit.
Josiah?
So this is a post from like 2 years ago. This is D&D character classes with examples from pop culture. And it's kind of cool that like, even if you're not into D&D, even if you're not into like nerdy games, you're still seeing movies and you're still seeing TV shows with fantasy elements. And you're going to run into, some of them are very tropey and some of them are very noticeable, like stuff like Gandalf, like obviously that's a wizard. But like
Barbarian.
But there's a lot of really cool hidden classes that you're going to see in pop culture that maybe you don't recognize as being a D&D class. So I want to go through this person's post. I'm just going to say his because we don't know, and it's just well, Josiah is a male name. So
Are you going to quiz us?
No, I'm not going to quiz you. I just want to just go through each class that he brings up and see if we can add on to it, and see if we can maybe figure out some subclasses and like kind of let's just talk about it.
Let's just talk about it. Let's talk about it. What is that? Thanks for that link. Let's talk about it.
So first of all, I got Josey Diaz here.
Hello.
How you doing, doll?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Still great. Jack, how you doing?
You know, I'm still here.
You drunk yet?
No, I mean,
We've been drinking all afternoon.
yeah, but the problem is that like, well, I'm not an alcoholic because alcoholics go to meetings, and I don't go to any
Right, no,
meetings.
you're a drunk.
Yeah, so we're on beer, what?
Super drunks make beer.
4 or 5, and I'm still sober as the day I was born.
Yeah.
It's bad. We're in a lot of trouble. I am not a cheap date, ladies.
No, you and I are big boys. We take a lot of alcohol.
So ladies, if you're looking for, a match.
But if you need a beer pong partner, fellas,
oof, I gotcha.
you and Jack and I will never get drunk ever.
Mm-hmm. I'm always down for the boys. Wait, what?
And of course, I'm Jason Portizo.
You are.
I'm here drinking a Grog's Paradise, of course, from Dr. Brulito's Beer Co.
That's my little kitty cat. I mean, I really want to say this right now. It's weird seeing my cat on a beer can.
Right?
It's so weird. Like, that's my little boy, my sweet, sweet angel, just yawning on a beer
Jack,
can.
of course, owns Dr. Brulito's Beer Co.
That's me.
And Grog is his sweet little boy
Oh,
cat.
The sweet little boy who sometimes makes an appearance on our show because he just wants some love.
Sometime between the last time I saw Jack and now, at least in person, because we've done some online episodes, they got their candy line up, and now we've got some nice cans with Grog on it.
Love bringing my cans.
Super happy for
you.
us. Super proud of you, Jack. Great job.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
Also, delicious beer.
Oh.
So if you're in Maple Street, New Jersey, go check them out. And that's enough of our sponsor. So
Wait, what?
I'm just going to go through some of the examples that Happy Josiah gave, and I just want your opinions on them. So we're going to, looks like he's got it alphabetically, and this is 2 years old, so the Artificer might not have existed. So we're going to start on Barbarian. So Barbarian, of course, a savage melee combatant that is incredibly tough to take down despite his skewing armor. Will often fly into a rage in combat. Examples given are the Hulk.
Yep. I mean, yeah, all right.
Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy.
100%.
And the Bride from Kill Bill. I don't know how much I agree with the Bride.
2 out of 3. I mean, because the Hulk and Drax are basically, Drax is just small Hulks.
Yeah.
Because they're both like, I mean, so you have Bruce Banner, who was a very smart boy.
Yep.
I mean, you can almost say like Jekyll and Hyde. You know, and then you get the Hyde part. You know, you get the Doctor, right? Like Hyde. No, is it Dr. Jekyll's a good one.
Dr.
Hyde's
Jekyll,
the
Mr.
bad.
Hyde, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
So you get the Hyde. And you get
Jekyll went to med school.
Hyde
did not.
Hyde went to community college. No offense. Everyone's doing great. I think my thing is that like, so you think Barbarian, you think big old dum-dum, just stuck
low intelligence and intelligence and fly into a rage.
When it comes to brains versus brawn, it's all brawn.
Yeah, just big old muscles and stuck on stupid.
Yep.
So you get like the Hulk and Drax. I get like that. I don't know about
Drax
nothing goes over my head. I have incredibly fast reflexes.
Yeah, Drax is great. Doesn't understand sarcasm. I think Drax is a perfect Barbarian. The Bride is very calculating. She is very intelligent. I would say the Bride is more of a monk.
I would say fighter.
Fighter, maybe fighter monk, maybe fighter monk.
I think they put her in
multi-class.
barbarian just for the rage.
Yeah, because she does have a lot of rage. I mean, she's the main character of Kill Bill.
She does
but like,
rage.
so like, I don't know. I would see like fighter more than barbarian, because barbarian to me is like, you know, even if you lose a weapon, you could still like you could punch stuff. Like you could really do some damage. Like
she rips the one girl's eye out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I could rip an eye out. I'm not in that great of shape. But like,
you don't need. It doesn't take that much to gouge out an eye.
Nope. And it's only 81 psi.
Not that I know that from experience.
It's only 81 psi to fract for human skull.
It's true.
You can bait through somebody's thumb with the same amount of force it takes to bite through a carrot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But so I'm gonna say 2 out of 3. I don't like the bride. I like the bride as like a weapons monk, like a, what is it, Kensei monk?
Either Kensei monk
or a fighter.
Weapons master.
I can see a fighter.
Battle master.
I mean, look at her. You. I mean, you know, not to, you know, a little callback, little Casey Jones episode. Put Casey Jones in the way of the samurai as a fighter, and that's basically the bride from Kill Bill.
I can see her as a samurai as well.
100%. Just a weapon.
Doesn't she dual wield katanas?
Not dual wield,
one.
but she is definitely proficient in katana.
Yeah, she has the one sword. So I'm gonna say 2 out of 3.
Okay.
2 out of 3.
Now, any other barbarians that you want to add to the list?
I mean, really anybody.
Conan?
Yeah, Conan. I mean, you know, Conan the Barbarian.
Little on the nose, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. You know, what about, what was it? I mean, I was being dumb thinking of the cartoon show. What was it? Jake the Barbarian.
Yes.
Was that the show?
Yes.
No, Dave the Barbarian.
Dave the Barbarian?
Oh my God, that show was amazing.
His head is full of rocks.
Barbarian.
That show was fantastic.
Are
we dating ourselves on that show?
No, I think we're okay.
so.
I think we're okay. So I would say anybody like big and stuck on stupid is a barbarian. Like you have one setting, and it's I'm gonna punch stuff.
And like while it is important to really lean into the dumb barbarian thing, but like I think flying into a rage is also super important.
Yeah, anybody gets like real angry. But that's the thing though. Because if flying into the rage is the important part, then the bride works. Because that's what she did. She was always
that's why I said, like, I think that's why they put her as the barbarian.
She was all angry all the time. So the Hulk and Drax.
Yeah, her whole redemption arc was based on anger.
Yeah, so the Hulk. Yeah, so you look at the Hulk is just I get angry. You know, you're not gonna like me when I'm fucking angry.
I don't like me when I'm angry.
And then Drax is just, you know, he's stuck on vengeance. He wants to kill Thanos for killing his wife and kid. But then you have the bride who is smaller, but just all rage all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, she literally is fueled.
You don't
by rage.
actually have to be big and burly to be a barbarian. You just have to have the mental capacity to be like, I'm going to run through that brick wall and nothing's going to stop me.
Other than the bride.
To bring her more towards like the monk idea or even the fighter idea, she did train under Pai Mei.
Mm-hmm.
So she went through like actual monastic training.
So then probably, well, I mean, fighters go through a lot of training too.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be natural ability, but
and then like, you know, she was extremely skilled. Like her when she chose to attack, it was out of rage, but like when she was in the battle, it was very calculated.
Yeah, no, Drax and Hulk are just like, that's a thing, I'm going to punch it. Yeah. I'd say 2 out of 3. I don't think you convinced me that the bride's a barbarian. I give you fighter or monk, but I don't think we can go barbarian.
Can you think of any subclasses that Hulk or Drax might fit into?
Nah, because they're just big, dumb idiots like punching stuff. I mean, in low intelligence, high strength. That's really all they are. I mean, look at like Drax is just fueled by like, you know, killing Thanos, and you know, look at when he look at the Hulk when you what was it, Thor Ragnarok, when he's like jumped into the mouth of whatever that like big fire demon dude was. Mm-hmm. There's no thought in that. He's like, this is a big thing. I want to murder this big thing.
Yeah, I think barbarian subclasses are a little less important. Than
they're not as fun. It's
like
other
classes.
Yeah, it's either like your subclass is your left fist or your right fist.
It's like berserker, and then like a couple like it's
the totem warrior.
Yeah, totem warrior.
It's all about punching stuff though. Anything that wants to punch stuff.
They're definitely not totem warriors.
Full on barbarian.
Hulk can be a berserker.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
I would add Wolverine to this because we've done that before.
But see, I don't know about Wolverine being a barbarian. It's almost like it's more of a monk or a fighter.
I had him as a fighter barb when we did that episode.
Didn't I have him as a barbarian?
You and I both did him as a fighter barbarian.
And I think I did as a monk. I did a monk with
you had a monk,
and I homebrewed the claws because I did pre-adamantium. I did bone.
Yeah,
Wolverine.
same.
But I think that you need. I mean, I always see a barbarian. I played one. You know, it's just big and dumb.
Barbs
the only barbarian I've ever played was my like 7-year-old half orc with ADHD.
Okay. Oh yeah, you mentioned this on another episode.
Yeah, Greg. She was like, my mom ate my dad, so I think I can do it all right. And that's how she talked.
That's a tiny barbarian.
Like a little tiny barbarian, but it's like, that's a kid. You're not going to hit it, but will run through a fucking wall. Half orc. So her mom was the orc and her dad was the human.
Nice.
And her mom ate her dad.
Do half orcs age like humans?
No, they reach maturity around the age of 10.
Okay, so like a 5-year-old is still like
it's like a 10-year-old, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to teach you guys about some anime stuff. So Biscuit Kruger is from an anime called Hunter x Hunter.
I
Oh,
love
yeah,
Hunter
That
x
is
Hunter.
the only one that I could say is another barbarian.
Oh my God.
But she hides it because she spends all of her whatever chi or whatever the hell it is. I always forget being small and tiny and
All right.
unassuming. And then
Just cast a minor illusion.
Basically, then one fight scene, she's just this huge buff person. She basically goes, "I hate my body," and then this is why I want to look this way. And so that I would say that Biscuit Kruger would be another great barbarian class.
You said Hunter x Hunter, my brain just went, Hizuka.
Yeah.
Stupid little
If we're
fucking
going
clown.
anime, if we're going anime
gone.
classes, what do you think about Vegeta from DBZ?
Nah, Vegeta's another fighter though. I would go
He's
fighter.
definitely a fighter
because
but
he's smart. He's calculating.
But he does fly into rages.
But that's the thing. So does the bride. My thing is that like you can have the rage, but if you're smart and calculating, it's not really like a barbarian.
Who was the
class.
first enemy from DBZ? The bald guy.
Krillin?
No, not Krillin. No, the evil bald guy.
Oh, it was a
The
girl.
one that is like the precursor to Vegeta.
Purple and what? No. Oh, I was thinking of who's the purple? Frieza's who I'm thinking of.
That's later, and then
But Frieza's a
Frieza-
lady.
They do, and I think this might be a Japanese thing, but out of respect, they refer to her by male pronouns.
I think Frieza's a lady though.
Not Raditz, although Raditz could be a
I'll give it,
barbarian. Nappa's one I'm thinking about.
Yeah, Nappa's big and dumb.
Yeah.
He's stuck on stupid.
All right, yeah, we're gonna go anime and pull DBZ out.
Yeah,
you remember
Nappa's
Nappa?
definitely good. Yeah,
And I know you guys can't see his
yeah,
picture. but I'll show you this
he is
to
stuck
Jack just
on
remind him.
stupid.
So we'll add Nappa to that list.
All right, I like that.
right.
That. All right, what's next?
Moving on, we got bards.
Yep.
From alphabetical.
Okay.
So storyteller or musician using wits, magic, and lore to get out of or avoid tight situations. Jack of all trades and the class most likely to talk trash. We've got Star-Lord.
Yeah, 100%.
Love Star-Lord as a
Not
bard.
even a question. Not even a question. I mean, it's basically his whole MO is cutting words and vicious mockery.
Yeah. And and he's a good fighter. But
Yeah.
he's
Fighting is not his MO. though.
wit and his sense of humor is his
Yeah.
actual weapon.
I like that a lot, 100%.
You shouldn't have killed my mom and squished my Walkman.
What
That's a great
is-
That's
line.
wait a
exact-
minute.
Yeah.
What's Dandelion's name in the Witcher series? Because I know in the books his name is Dandelion,
Not
but
sure.
I can't. It's hold on.
While you're looking that up, the other examples given us because Star-Lord, Tom Bombadil from Hobbit.
Okay.
Oh, it's Jaskier.
Okay.
Is a poet, minstrel, bard. So like,
Oh,
and the
yeah,
close friend of Geralt.
That's like a cartoonish representation of a bard. It's
Listen,
so
listen.
obvious.
I'm talking about I'm not talking about from the books. I'm talking
He
about it in
literally
the show.
sings.
It's so
Right.
great. He's so. But like, listen. You didn't say it couldn't be cartoony.
No, I didn't say,
That's
I
fair.
didn't say it at all.
What
He's
else you got on the
Just saying
list?
it's
the
obvious.
epitome of the bard that I want to be.
The other example that Happy Josiah gives, I think is super interesting. Rapunzel from the Tangled version of her, obviously.
Yeah.
As a
I
bard,
would always
yeah.
feel no. Finn
Well,
is
because-
Finn is more of the bard in that story
No,
than
he's the
Rapunzel
rogue.
is.
He's technically the rogue,
No, because he's not sneaky. He's loud and dumb.
but he's not the singer.
He's literally he's loud, dumb, has a good heart, but like also
So is he a
thinking about
fighter?
but also thinking about like women all the time. He's literally a bard. Because Rapunzel to me is like not like very bard-ish. Yeah, she sings, but like she doesn't like.
But she like her only weapon that she has is her hair and that frying pan.
Yeah, but like so I'm gonna say this right now. A bard. I mean, a bard thinks with his dick, or it's lady dick.
Not necessarily. I disagree with that.
I think that's
that
that's a
people
harmful
have a-
stereotype.
I don't think it's harmful.
I think people have a tendency to, if they're playing the bard, being like, "Yeah, I'm the fucking musician of the group. Like, I get all the groupies and shit." But that's not inherent to the bard. Like, you could be the barbarian that's like the champion fighter and have all the bitches hanging off of your big burly.
Well, I didn't say that you have
biceps.
bitches. I said you think with your dick. Different.
Hmm.
I'm not saying you have women.
Oh,
I'm
there's
just saying that
absolutely bards that don't have any play.
100%. I like. I'm gonna go Hunter x Hunter again, man. I don't know why. Like I
All
keep
right.
finding. So Leorio is a good example of a bard. Not a great fighter, but like really good with words. Likes women a
So
lot.
wait, I want to know, like, do you think Rapunzel's a good fighter?
I don't. I
What
don't.
would you put her class as?
Oh
She's. I mean, I could see
Is it wrong
somebody
that I wouldn't
make
even
a
think she's an
case.
adventurer?
no. I
Well,
would.
her whole thing is she's a level 1 adverer.
Yeah.
She's just getting out of her thing. Like maybe a cleric because she's got her healing hair.
I mean, I would put more towards like almost like a priest class, a cleric
But
class.
like again, she doesn't have any like religious beliefs really. And like
True.
bards can have healing spells.
Yeah, but like her main characteristic is that she literally is a vessel for healing.
And that her whole existence in her little house is her singing to herself and painting and being creative. And I can't think of anything more bard-like than that.
That's fair.
You're not wrong. Yeah,
If you look at it that way.
and also, I just can't think of anywhere else to put her.
I can't think of another class other than cleric. I can only think cleric, like healing hands and.
So no, we didn't really prepare for this episode. As I wanted to surprise you with this one, but like, any other ideas of other bards from pop culture?
I mean, it's anybody who's like loudmouth, quick wit. Man, I really I
Don't
know
look at me when you say that.
I'm gonna go Scott Pilgrim.
Okay. I've actually never seen that.
Yeah, I can give you Scott.
Really good graphic novel series, but the movie was actually faithful enough to still be very good.
Yeah, the graphic novel is still definitely better, but the movie was well done.
They did have to cram all 7 of them into one movie, but
they did. It was fun. It worked.
It was great.
It worked. I mean, anybody who's like loudmouth, quick wit. I mean, like I guess that like Deadpool is more of a fighter, but Deadpool would be a good bard example.
Deadpool definitely multi-classes into bard.
Yeah, I would say bard fighter. I would say more bard than fighter though, because like his fighting only comes from the fact that he knows he can never die. Like he's just so like it's not like that he's trained himself to fight. He just knows like he can do whatever he wants and never die. And granted, he was like the killer beforehand, but like now it's like Deadpool's known for like his wit. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, he definitely multi-classes.
A lot of cutting words on that one.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, we mentioned Michelangelo on previous episodes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a turtle. Yeah. I mean, I made him as a bard.
Yeah, and I 1,000% agreed.
We got next on the list, Dad.
Next we got clerics.
Oh, gross.
Disgusting. A heavily armored defensive supporter devoted to a deity. These holy healers are priest, medic, and warrior all at once.
Yucky.
Examples he gives: Thor.
No, absolutely not.
Thor, I think, is a very offensive cleric, and I don't think
he's a
wrong.
battle cleric.
He doesn't. Clerics heal, in my opinion. Are
we talking about Thor from like Marvel or
let's
Thor?
Let's go to MCU because he's mentioned Drax and Star-Lord already. So I'm gonna assume he means MCU.
Thor as a cleric is bullshit. Like, what healing does he have? I get like the offensive thing, but there's always like an inherent.
Imagine if you smack somebody with that hammer hard enough that it just brings them back to life.
That's not what's going to happen.
Take the healing part out of the cleric because they do a lot of other things.
Yeah, but that's such a main. That's like saying like take the citrus out of an orange. Yes, it could be a fruit. But
yes, it's a huge part of it, but like they still get things like spiritual weapon and they get to boost other people's stats.
All right, so what's his buff then? Tell me whenever he buffs someone because he's never buffed anybody. It's always offensive.
I was gonna, Thor is a slut for the spotlight.
I would
rather. That's why I think they put him as a bard is that he loves to be the center. Cleric. Never mind.
Cleric. Yeah,
there goes that argument.
Yeah, no.
I would say that Thor would be more of a barbarian because he thinks with his hammer. He's made decisions across the comics, the movies, everything that he's made decisions with his hammer in his head. It's never been like, or his hammer instead of his head. He's never been like, this is a good thought. I plan. He's like, no, I'm going to hit this thing and figure it out later.
I think the thought process behind making him a cleric is that he is a god, but all of his powers are spiritually based.
They're from his dad.
Yeah. So if his deity is Odin, then
Odin giveth and Odin taketh away. I don't know, man. Like I feel like he's too offensive and has no buffing or healing properties to be a cleric. I'd almost put him more as a barbarian, even to some extent like a fighter, than as a cleric because there's zero buffs he gives to anybody. He always wants to be the center of attention. He likes hitting things before he asks questions. Like,
what if he multi-classed them?
But like the thing is that
what's his like? I can understand cleric in the sense that he is of the Norse pantheon, and he would probably like pray to Odin for powers.
Because his powers are.
I could see him as a battle cleric.
Yeah.
Even then,
he just didn't stock.
He's a battle cleric that doesn't heal
or buff.
He buffs himself.
He doesn't though.
It's just, he absolutely does.
Oh,
yeah, you never seen lightning strike Mjolnir?
That's his power, though. It's not really
a power granted to him by Odin.
But Mjolnir is not going to do as much damage as it does when it's hit by lightning. He'll call lightning to strike Mjolnir, and then I just love saying Mjolnir out loud. It's
very fun. Mjolnir is the source of his power for the most. Because when he lost his hammer, he became
like
a drunk college dude bro.
He had the axe. So what was the axe's name? The axe had a name too.
I don't know. Groot.
It wasn't Groot.
I know it wasn't Groot. It was Groot, part Groot and part Peter Dinklage.
But I'm saying that without his weapon, without a weapon, he's just a drunk college kid hanging out.
Yeah, but see that's my argument against being a cleric because a cleric has
Stormbreaker.
A cleric has inherent magical abilities.
Well, he does have
but a barbarian without a weapon is just a fat drunk college guy.
He does have inherent abilities on account of he is a god.
Yeah.
Dude's a literal god.
But he couldn't call lightning when the powers were taken away.
He can't call lightning into Mjolnir without Mjolnir.
Then that was him in Oathbreaker.
He had to call it. First of all, he had to ask Odin for permission for the hammer. And when he was deemed not worthy of the hammer, he lost that ability, which sounds like a cleric thing. Like if you're
sounds
not,
like your deity turning it back on. That's Oathbreaker.
I'm just not a big cleric. I'm not a fan of the cleric.
I'm not a fan of clerics in general, but like I can see how
I think he's a great example of how he doesn't.
A cleric doesn't have to just be the healer.
That's fair.
Because we had a cleric. We had a war cleric or something. She was a tiefling who.
That's just a barbarian who can't heal.
Well, she was like, if you want me to, she did have a couple healing spells, but like if you wanted her to heal you, you had to promise her a life debt.
Oh, you talked about that in a previous episode.
Hi, Jeanette, who will never listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe you will, and I'll give you a pen.
What's next on that list?
Dr. Bones McCoy.
Why does it sound familiar?
I'm gonna look up what that's from. I think is that Firefly?
I don't think is it. No.
Dr. Bones McCoy. Oh, it's Star Trek.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
Damn it, Jim! Yeah. I'm a doctor, not a miracle worker.
Yeah, Leonard McCoy.
Yeah,
it's my mom. My mom is Dr. Bones McCoy, and Friar Tuck.
Friar Tuck from the Robin Hood universe.
I'll give you that one.
I wasn't a Robin Hood
I would
kid.
definitely take Friar Tuck as a cleric.
Over
he's
Thor,
a literal cleric.
100%.
And McCoy, Leonard or Bones or whichever you're going to
McCoy,
call
I'll give
him.
you because he's a healing property. He's a scientist.
He's a literal doctor.
He's a doctor. That I get.
His deity is the
doctor,
deity
not
of
a
science.
scientist.
Yeah.
He's made it very clear that he's a doctor and not a scientist.
Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a miracle worker.
Yeah. What's next class?
This class is druids.
Okay.
In tune with all things natural, these magic users draw their power from the earth itself. They often have the ability to shapeshift into various animals. Examples given are Radagast, which I am going to look up.
Yeah.
Radagast sounds super familiar.
Radagast is
the green wizard from Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
the
okay.
forest wizard.
It's from the Hobbit movies.
Yeah.
Which I didn't watch them.
Radagast is the one that like the bunnies carried the sled that he was on, like the big bunny. Yeah. And he called he called the eagles.
The last time I read The Hobbit, I think I was 10.
Yeah, Radagast was the forest or green wizard.
I started The Hobbit so many times, like the actual proper book.
It was meant to be a children's book.
It's a children's book, and you're not actually supposed to read it all at once.
It is a dense children's book.
It is a heavy children's book.
Radagast, I get that 100%.
It's definitely a book that's better to read out loud than just to yourself, because I never made it past the first chapter just reading it to myself.
Well, you also can't read that well, so.
That's not true. I can read true crime like nobody's business.
That's true crime.
I just finished the cases that haunt us.
She said Radagast was the one that called the eagles.
Yeah, he was eagles, and they had like the hares, like when they like transport him. So Radagast, I get 100%.
That's a super druid movie. Yeah, no question there. Maui from Moana.
Yes, 100%.
Definitely.
As a druid, because he shapeshifts and he calls that. Yeah, okay.
He's one with the ocean.
He's got his what's the Maori staff called?
The hook.
The hook.
It's called. What's called the hook?
There's a name for it though.
It's the hook.
Yeah, he calls it the hook, but
I mean, what can I say except you're welcome?
I'm just gonna Google Maori
Matau.
Ooh, quick Googling.
Matau fish hooks are made by Maori are simple and ingenious. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what he lost.
If that's not a shillelagh, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'll give Maui Druid. I'll give Maui Druid all day.
And Poison Ivy from the Batman universe.
Of course she is. She's just swinging from them goddamn vines.
Yeah.
God, I love Cammy.
We got one that calls on animals, one that can shape nature around them, and one that is very plant-based.
I can see all three of those. See, that's the first one I agree with every one of them.
Now, not necessarily heroes, but let's now where do you put like things like Professor Lupin from Harry Potter universe?
Nowhere.
He's a lycanthrope.
But that's
he's a shapeshifter.
He's not a shapeshifter because lycanthropy is something that exists in D&D
Lycanthropy
as well.
is something different though. But what about Peter Pettigrew?
Peter Pettigrew, he doesn't deserve a class.
No,
he's a rogue. He's a rogue. He spent.
Do you think he multi-class rogue?
13.
Rogue
he spent
druid?
at least 13 years as a family's pet rat.
Yeah,
and if that's not wild shape, maybe he was stuck in wild shape.
It's just sad shape, is what that is.
But I think that's more rogue than it is druid.
But the ability is not rogue. The ability itself is druid.
I wouldn't give him druid.
Well, yeah,
you want to give a guy that wild shape for 13 years druid?
No,
an animagus is its own, like, if you were going to try to work in Harry Potter stuff, animagus would have to be its own thing because you have to, there's like steps that you have to go through to become an animagus.
Would you consider lycanthropy a druid?
I think the difference becomes whether they can control it. Because Lupin absolutely could not control it.
Yeah, that's
fair. But Pettigrew could.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like that.
So do you think that the anime
lycanthropy
guy
happens
are
to you,
reskinned
but
just
wild
shape?
shape is a choice.
But it's something that regardless of your class, like, because for the most part, like, Harry Potter characters are wizards. Like,
For the most part, yeah.
just basically. But
It's
like,
weird. They're just wizards that can also cast a spell of shapeshifting.
Yeah.
It's a wizard that knows wild shape.
Yeah, I would say it's more of a wizard with a spell than a druid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they took a feat or something that
I can see that more. Yeah.
Any other druids you could think of?
World of Warcraft druids. I know.
I just see the WoW. And there is some lore to WoW.
I got nothing other than like I can't think of like shape shifting.
I will admit fully on this podcast that I don't know the first thing about WoW lore.
Me either. I know too
I
much.
don't have enough money to play WoW.
I know too much.
The game both simultaneously doesn't interest me at all, and I know that if I play it for 5 seconds, that'll become my entire life.
Yeah, what's up?
I mean,
that's basically the story of my life.
I could always ask my friend Margaret because she plays a lot.
What's up, Margaret?
You can ask your friend Jack, who's 3 feet next to you.
What's up?
Yeah,
16 years.
but you're not Margaret, though. I like Margaret's a cutie patootie.
Right,
she's just a little. She's a sweet little Texan.
Where's she at?
I feel like I'm a sweet little.
Shout out, Margaret. What's up?
Hi, Margaret. I'm gonna make all my Discord friends listen to the podcast so they can hear me call them all out. Nebuchadnezzar.
I feel like I'm a cutie.
You are a cutie patootie, but you're not Margaret. Margaret has a pet tarantula named Peaches.
That's not cute. That's fucking terrifying.
No, she's so precious.
No, thank you.
The sweetest baby.
How do you guys feel about things like, we're going to go back to like late 90s here, the Animorphs?
The worst books in the Scholastic book.
Jack O'Connell, you shut your whore mouth.
Animorphs were bad books.
No, they weren't.
They were
bad books.
They were perfectly
no, you're
fine
wrong.
books.
You're just scared of the cover art.
No book should be a thing that'd be like, look, I'm a person, now I'm a starfish. Like, that's not fun.
That's well, clearly you've never read the books because that's not what happened.
Because they're not good.
Josey,
do not besmirch K.A. Applegate in front of me. It's
Josey,
not allowed.
How do you feel about the Animorphs being druids? Is Animorphing the same as wild shaping?
The Animorphs got their powers from that magic alien cube.
So I'm going to say that it's not the same because you're not wild shaping. You don't know a spell, just an inherent
you
knowledge.
have to touch.
Wild shape's not a spell.
It's a I think it would be a variation of wild shape because you have to physically touch an animal to be able to turn into it in the Animorph series.
Okay, I didn't read any of them.
Because they're not good.
I read all of them. They were so good.
Oh my goodness. Keep this list going, Dad.
I just love that. What was the author's name?
K.A. Applegate.
Applegate.
Yep.
I love that she wrote this series about kids turning into other things, and then completely unrelated has a trans kid.
What else did she? She's written a bunch of stuff.
She's the
she wrote the one and only Ivan.
Young adult author hero that J.K. Rowling can never be.
She wrote several picture books, including the one and only Ivan. Jack Rabbit and the Beanstalk, The Buffalo Storm, Sometimes You Fly.
Are there any druids in them?
A Gorilla's True Story.
We don't care.
Are there any druids in those stories?
I'm trying to see.
No.
I don't think so.
Next on the list.
Fighter.
Keep it going.
Skilled combatant or strategist, typically relying on armor and weapon proficiency to defeat their enemies. We've got Legolas.
Ranger.
Yeah.
I don't think Legolas is a ranger.
Why?
Wait, why don't you think the man that's main thing is shooting his bow and arrow is not a ranger?
Because I think he's a fighter with ranged weapon proficiency.
Why can't he be a ranger with melee weapon proficiency?
Because he doesn't cast any spells. He's not, he has no...
I think that
no
man has hunter's mark inherently in his little brain.
Yeah. He also does kind of have some inherent magic. He's an elf.
Yeah.
Like what?
I mean, like what?
What does his elf eyes see?
Yeah.
I think he has racial traits.
Yeah.
No,
That's not class traits.
But it's more like, but it's inherent magical thing.
I think those are different things.
I wouldn't put him as a fighter. I'd put him as a ranger.
I can absolutely see him as a ranger, but I would agree with it. If someone called him a fighter, I would agree. Now later, when someone else calls him a ranger, I would also agree.
That's fair. What's next?
Maybe multi-class. Captain America.
Because with rangers, you get your favorite enemy.
Sure.
Which is something that you don't get as a fighter. So, what's his favorite?
Orcs.
Or dwarves. Depends on his mood that day.
He's back on the menu. I would put Captain America as a fighter pretty easily.
Captain
I see that.
Absolutely a fighter.
100%.
Not even a question.
No question there.
What's next?
Mulan.
Yeah, okay. I see Mulan as a fighter as opposed to like a monk or something.
Yeah.
You can't put her as anything else.
Yeah, she's a soldier.
She's just like, hey guys, I'm going to put this armor on and kick the shit out of a bunch of Huns.
Also, I'm realizing how much I'm slurring. This is like my 7th beer. So
you're not slurring that bad. I'm certainly not.
Well, I got about half of this beer left to go, so we'll see. Mulan is a soldier.
Yeah.
That's definitely a fighter.
Yep.
I think we got to talk about Legolas though. But we'll talk about that a little bit in the Ranger. Any of the fighters you can think of? Fighters are a super easy one. There's just too many
you can
of
make
them.
anything a fighter, pretty much.
Everybody, I mean, like
Anything that likes to throw punches in like a way that they've trained for is a
Going
fighter.
back to Marvel, like
Fighters.
T'Challa, like stuff like that, like
Right.
the fighter. Yeah, it's super easy to
just
make
about any
fighters.
other like hero from any action series.
Anybody
is a
that
fighter.
punches stuff, but is also
And any like live action hero is going to be a fighter.
Yeah,
like Rocky,
Jean-Claude Van Damme, Rocky. Yeah. Bruce
Karate
Well,
Kid.
Bruce
Lee's a
more
monk.
Yeah.
Don't take that away from him. He's trained too hard.
Perfect. We got Monk next. So unarmored martial arts masters that use their speed to avoid being damaged or restrained. First example is Batman.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Batman as a monk. I like that a lot.
Yeah, because he's
Especially
very good
Christopher Nolan Batman.
at dodging.
I almost like Batman more as a fighter because he has gadgets and things to use. I feel like monks rely on their natural abilities, while Batman does.
Well, Batman
more relies-
has all that training with the League of Assassins.
Right. Do you think he's a monk artificer?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, can we make a monk artificer and play Batman?
Yes. Oh my god, I would do that. in a
Jack, make a
heartbeat.
campaign so I can play Batman.
Yeah, let me just get right on
Oh
that.
my god.
Yeah, no
I want to
problem,
be.
guys.
I want to be
Like, I
Harley.
know you're being sarcastic, but I'm gonna hold you to it anyway.
Why can't I be Harley?
Because I just I like not doing nice things for you.
I'm an incredible Harleen Quinzel.
What class would Harley be?
Fighter.
I don't think she's a fighter.
What do you think she is?
I think she might be a monk. Actually,
no,
I think she's got Bard in her.
she's got a little bard in her, but like she's very
got this-
acrobatic.
She's got the silver tongue.
She's very dexterous. That's like her whole big thing is she can do all those flips and shit. She was a gold medal gymnast
She
growing
was.
up.
Is she a monk bard?
She might be a monk bard.
Oh,
I could
that'd be
see
awesome.
that. I'd
Oh
make an
my
excellent monk
I give her
bard.
monk bard.
Batman is a monk artificer. That's
pretty good.
That just makes me so happy.
Who else?
Well, because so many people in Batman actually have like martial arts backgrounds.
Well,
Like
yeah,
a surprising number of
because you
people
need action
in
scenes.
Gotham.
you got to fight.
Buffy.
I think Buffy's more of a fighter than a
Yeah,
monk, but
fighter.
like
I
also
think she's a little more human.
yeah,
Like, she's a little more like just normal. She doesn't
like
have,
a person.
she's had the monastic training that a monk has.
Yeah, I would put Buffy as a fighter.
I put her as an unarmed fighter because the only time she ever fights really realistically with weapons is when she's got a stake.
Or
Towards the
lacrosse,
end.
I would put more than a fighter.
Do you think Buffy has like a cleric multi-class?
No, she doesn't buff or heal. She just fights.
Yeah, I guess.
Who else you got?
Poe from Kung Fu Panda.
I mean,
Okay, yeah.
duh. I mean,
Obviously.
that's a kind of a
Also, it's Jack Black and it's a fucking treasure.
yeah.
God
I mean, that's
bless.
the same thing as like if they put Bruce Lee on that. List,
That's
of
another
course.
monk bard,
Jack
honestly.
Black, if you want to be on the show, send us an email.
Please, for the love of Jack Black, I love you so
curmudgeonsanddragonspod@gmail.com
much.
if you represent.
Jason, when
Jack
we
Black.
release this episode, I need you to tag him.
Yeah, he'll do it.
I
do
need
it.
you to tag him.
I'll
I
do it.
love that man with every fiber of my tiny little being.
And knowing him,
From the time that he did School of Rock, my man.
School of Rock
Jack
still
Black.
like resonates with me.
It's a good movie.
And like knowing
feel
him,
that in my-
he
in my
might
loins.
do it.
He might.
He might do it.
Probably not, but he might.
We'll have Jack draw up a one shot for him.
Yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it.
Coming up next, Paladin.
Okay.
A mixture of the cleric and fighter classes, skilled in combat, but also makes use of a small selection of magical boons from a deity. There's a couple examples here. Darth Vader
No.
as a paladin.
No.
Why not?
He's
You
a
can't, be on
bat-
the, you can't be on the dark side and be a paladin.
You absolutely
can.
can. You
Yep.
absolutely can.
There
Now,
are chaotic
you
evil
can have
deities.
evil deities.
But what's his evil deity?
Palpatine.
It's not really a deity though. It's more of like a master.
That counts as a deity
But he
to
doesn't
him.
pray to him, and he also
You don't
kind of
know
goes
that.
against him with Luke.
You're allowed to turn
Jedi
against
is
your
Or goes against him
deity.
with Luke.
Yeah.
Uh,
Then you become an oath breaker.
the Force and Jedi and everything is a religion.
Yeah. I just don't see him as a paladin. That's just weird.
Do you think he's more of a warlock with
Yeah, I'd put like more like with the Force and the
with
dark
Palpatine
arts,
as his
Force
patron?
lightning, and yeah, that I would agree with that more than I agree with.
I can go either way
Paladin.
on this. I like the idea of Vader being a paladin. though.
Yeah.
Like a dark paladin, like an evil paladin. That could be really cool.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
As a paladin?
As a
Yes.
paladin.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
I do see
I can
that
see that.
actually.
Yeah,
She goes by the Amazonian gods.
Mhm.
that one's good.
That's a really cool one. Private Jackson, who he says is the sniper from Saving Private Ryan.
That's such just a weird reference though. Like
That's so obscure.
That's so obscure. I'm not even gonna
That's
count
a
it.
soldier.
I don't know
like.
if I've seen that movie
I'm
enough
not.
to know
I'm not
enough.
even gonna look it up.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
that
just
man's
gonna
a fighter
say-
soldier
Just gonna assume that
or
that's
a ranger
correct.
soldier.
Yeah, good
And
for
he did
you.
a great job.
Way to
No.
go.
I
Good
disagree.
For
I
you.
think he's a ranger soldier.
Good for you, Happy Josiah.
Way to
I'm
go,
just
Josiah.
going to give you that one for free.
Keep it going.
I'm not.
Next, we got Ranger. Uses a unique blend of wilderness knowledge, martial ability, and just a touch of magic to be a deadly hunter, whether with traditional weapons or with a favorite pet. Aragorn is the quintessential high fantasy ranger. They even mention him being a ranger in Lord of the Rings. We don't have to discuss this one at all.
Done.
Aragorn is the ranger.
The big one.
Daryl Dixon, and I'm going to look this one up because I don't know who that is.
He's from The Walking Dead. He's the crossbow guy that everybody's in love with. Yeah, where for a couple of years people were wearing shirts that said if Daryl dies, we riot because people are too invested in their TV shows.
Yeah,
It's relatable. It's fine.
I give Daryl a ranger.
That's the guy from...
Like, I've literally only ever seen Daryl Dixon with a crossbow.
It's the Boondock Saints guy.
Man.
Norman Reedus. Okay, I didn't watch any of Walking Dead, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that's correct. But knowing what I know about the show, it is a lot of wilderness and it's post-apocalyptic and you need just your survival skills. And so I'm going to assume that anybody who's a protagonist in that show is going to be a good ranger. And Jon Snow.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones.
with the
that's
wolf,
a great
and
ranger.
That's easy. That's easy. You have an animal companion. You're good at martial weapons.
At what point does he shoot something with a bow and arrow, though?
You don't necessarily have to be a bow-wielding ranger.
So rangers are known for using a bow and arrow, but they're also known for usually dual-wielding longswords.
Okay, I can see that.
And he already has an animal companion.
I still think that I would put him as something with a fighter, just because throughout he's using the two-handed, the longsword, the oh god, what's it called? It's got a fucking name. Is it ice? It's something stupid like that. I don't know. I love the books. I'm just saying.
Forget combat for a second. He's got wilderness skills. He's got survival skills. That's all ranger stuff. Maybe he multi-classes into fighter for a level or two. But yeah, I absolutely agree with Jon Snow. We got Rogue, a thief, assassin, or other stealthy character who has a knack for picking out an enemy's weakness and exploiting it. We got Sherlock Holmes, and I'm going to take this as the Robert Downey Jr. version.
Yeah. I was going to say, it could be any. Honestly, I think it could be any of them, just based on the picking out an enemy's weakness and exploiting it. Because the BBC Sherlock one, he would look at you and be like, I know.
Cumberbatch.
Bandersnatch Cumberbund, my favorite.
Cucumber Benjamin.
The Robert Downey Jr. version, there was this scene where he's in the pit fight. And just calls out the fight several steps in advance.
Yeah, where they give you the moment where they show you him figuring out every step they're going to take and how he's going to counter it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's a very Rogue move.
Cinematically gorgeous.
Bilbo Baggins.
He's a kind of a rogue.
He's sneaky.
He does not wish to be perceived.
He can literally go invisible.
Yeah, literally go invisible.
All right.
He's got a ring of invisibility.
I'll take that one.
And Black Widow.
That's
rogue fighter.
Yeah, rogue fighter. I'd say multi-class more than anything. Yeah. That's a rogue fighter.
She's definitely got some fighter levels, but I think she's a rogue first. I think she starts off.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Black Widow show yet, so I don't I haven't seen. Is it a movie?
It's a movie. Yeah. So we're recording this on July 20th, 2021.
It's worth one watch.
The movie just came out this past week.
It is worth one watch.
I heard it's very good. But yeah, I can definitely see her starting as a rogue and taking a couple of fighter levels to kind of flesh her out. Sorcerer. A magic user who draws his power from within, summoning his innate magic power. So we've got Magneto, and really just any of the X-Men, especially any of the high-powered X-Men.
Yeah,
I don't actually disagree with any of these sorcerers.
There's nothing to disagree with. Okay, cool.
I'm sneaking ahead and looking at the other ones, and I actually agree with all of them.
I'm going to skip this one real quick. I'm going to come back to the second. Elsa. From Frozen.
100%.
That's a great, excellent example and really kind of taking
Honestly, Elsa would be a really fun D&D character.
Yeah, a little out of the box. I think
she'd be such a fun D&D character because she's a sorcerer that does not want to be one.
And the other example he gives, I'm going to 1,000% disagree with. Doctor Strange.
Why would he not be a sorcerer?
Because even though he's known as the Sorcerer Supreme.
Literally his name.
I would go with Wanda.
He gets his power from study. It's not innate power. He gets it from books and from studying and from learning.
He spent millennia learning. Yeah,
the Sorcerer Supreme is actually a wizard.
What's Scarlet Witch? I would replace Doctor Strange with Scarlet Witch.
Really, just take any of the Marvel characters that have mutant powers.
Yeah,
anyone who was ever in any X-Men movie.
Captain Marvel's powers weren't inherent to her. She gained those powers.
Yeah, but it's more of a sorcerer than a wizard. She didn't study.
That's true.
If she gained them, is she more of a warlock, or is there a patron that gave it to her?
Not really a patron, it's an accident.
We'll find out in a second because our next one is Warlock. Pacted to a powerful entity They trade favors for boons and spells. Vision.
Yeah.
What's his patron?
Well, no, I take that. Well,
His patron is Tony fucking Stark.
No, his patron is the
Is
vision.
it Wanda?
Is the Mind Stone.
Is the Mind Stone.
So his patron is what's embedded in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what gives him all his powers.
Also, I like Vision as my favorite example of a Warforged.
Yeah, that's fair too.
Because everyone always thinks robot.
Created, but it's
not
humanoid.
He's just a synthetic
Warforged
humanoid.
does not mean robot. Warforged means synthetic being.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Vision is the perfect example of a Warforged. And I actually agree with Warlock, a Warforged Warlock.
Mm-hmm. What's next?
Captain Jack Sparrow
Yes.
as a Warlock.
He made a deal with Davy Jones.
Yeah.
That's his fucking patron.
Yep.
That's fair.
100%.
And I'm not familiar with this one. Ash Williams.
I don't know who that is.
That's a fake person.
We're going to Google this real quick. From
Evil
Dead.
Dead.
Oh, Ash from Evil Dead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he has a patron.
I never knew his last name. They should have said Ash from Evil Dead.
Yeah, that's fair.
Who's his patron, though?
With the Grimoire, right?
The Necronomicon?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of where he gets a lot of his knowledge from.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap this up with Wizard.
All right.
A keeper of arcane secrets and forgotten knowledge. This magical power comes from careful study.
Mm-hmm.
So someone who really gets to the books and gets to
Anybody
it.
with a book.
So I already put Doctor Strange there because he literally gets it from books.
Mm-hmm.
Hermione.
Yeah.
Really,
anybody from the Harry Potter
most
world.
of the wizards from the Harry Potter universe. Hermione in particular, just because she hits the books
Very
a little
much
bit
in the
harder.
books, yeah.
So again, this list did not include artificers, so he puts Iron Man on this list. I don't think he's got it from books.
No.
Well, no. Tony Stark, most of his abilities come from his high intelligence.
And I agree.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make him a wizard. He's not casting spells. He's building stuff.
I would put him as an artificer. If that
he's
was on the
absolutely.
list.
Tony Stark is the quintessential armorer artificer. Like I said, this post is 2 years old. I don't know if artificer was a thing at the time.
Probably
I don't
not.
know when the Eberron book came out, but
I would say about a year ago.
Yeah, that's where they introduced artificers.
All right.
So points for thinking of Iron Man, but he's absolutely an artificer and particularly an artillerist. And Merlin, which is
That's
when you think of it's either Gandalf or Merlin.
Yeah, it's the same. Any wizard, anybody who can cast. Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, even if you're not super into D&D, these are examples of major classes that you definitely already know.
Yeah,
and if you're trying to find a fun character to think of, this is where you can pull some inspiration from.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Good old Merlin.
The list was solid. A couple flaws here and there, but it's still a really good list.
And I don't think the flaws were that bad.
No, they weren't terrible.
I just wanted to look at some of the comments. Maybe next time we'll look at the comments.
Some of the comments are great, like giving extra examples, like adding like Wolverine to the barbarian list. I'm trying to think of other ones I could think of. Optimus Prime to the fighter list. Daredevil and most of the Jedi to the monk list. Ghost Rider to paladin. I think Ghost Rider is a very interesting paladin.
I can see that.
Nightwing to the rogue list. But yeah, we'll post a link to this post in the show notes. But we are super out of time. Josey's getting pulled out of here. We wrap this thing up right here. So go follow us. Check out curmudgeonsanddragons.com. A list of all of our socials is on there. Shoot us an email, curmudgeonsanddragonspod@gmail.com. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, and some ideas for what we can do for your next episode. We want to make shows that you want to listen to. Aside from that, that's kind of all I got.
That's all we got.
We super need you to give us a rating on iTunes and Spotify.
And then you'll get a fancy little pin.
Shoot us a screenshot of your rating, and we'll make sure we get a pin in your hands here. Ratings are how we get noticed by people who have not seen the show before. It's when they search for things, it helps us out with the algorithm. So,
and it also lets us know that you like what we're putting out.
Yeah, I like a little feedback.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for listening. Jack, Josey, my name's Jason.
That's me.
We will see you next
That's us.
time. Guys, thanks for listening.
Take it easy.
See ya.
This has been a JTP Audio podcast. Thanks for listening.